Hi, my name is Roslyn Mitchell.
And I'm Kimberly Phipps-Nickel.
And we are RoKi.
RoKi.
We are so excited today to bring you behind the scenes of RoKi Design and show you a little bit about our custom silk design process. We have so much fun going through the details of the design and working with our artists to create something that really tells the story of an organization or even about just an upcoming event. So, come on in and let's see what's really behind RoKi Design. Creating a custom silk scarf is one of the unique things that RoKi Design offers to its customers. There's not very many ways to make something that tells a story or tells your story, whether it's a person or an organization or an event, in such a new and a meaningful way, in addition to it pretty much becoming something that you can wear, something you could frame, and something you can appreciate for years to come. So one of the main questions we always get when people find out that we make these custom designs is, so what is the process? Do we do one-offs, or what are the minimums and those kinds of things? So I'm hoping to answer all of those questions in this video today. So usually our custom scarf design process begins with a consultation where we talk about what your goals are, what your intent is, who will be receiving this either as a gift or as a fundraiser, for example, for a nonprofit organization, so we understand who our audience is. In addition, I always want to make sure that I relate to whomever it is, I hear the story, I understand it, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to bring that vision and that mission into life. And so just as an example, the very first design and concept that we created was for the Nubile Kusai scarf, which was one I literally sketched out on a yellow pad. Sometimes I'm really bad at saving stuff, so unfortunately I didn't keep that original sketch. I wish I had, but it started with just a concept sketch and it turned into one of our most recognizable and one of my favorite silk scarves. Another one that I did probably just a few months after that is this design right here. And this one was made to tell both a story about the owner of the company. It was to also serve as a fundraiser for a nonprofit, but it also relates to her business as well. And so, and it's a fun piece. And so if you want to see from a sketch perspective where we started, this is it. I'm old school. I went to Walgreens and I purchased some old school pieces of paper that I could sketch on large formats. And after I talked to the owner of the business, heard her story, heard about the organization and the fundraiser that we were working on, sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes a week or two to come into mind what I want it to look like and where I want to put pieces and parts to really tell the story fluidly. And this was the first drawing I did. And so you can kind of see the distinction of where we started versus where we ended up in telling the story of Diane Roederer. And she's from Strasbourg, France. So if you notice, the France and the US or Texas flags are featured. She lives here in Houston, Texas, and the items going around, these are truffles, because she owns a company called Truffle Masters. And so we wanted to incorporate that because that's so significant to her brand. Lastly, but clearly not the least most important factor, is this is her family's family crest. And the wording going around it is the word truffle in different languages, specific to the languages in which she imports her truffles from. So it's connected in several different ways. And the funnest part that I love about this particular design is that we did a little bit of a Where's Waldo. So she is actually in the design in an image from her very first truffle hunt. And You have to look really hard, but if you look, you'll finally find her and her pup are actually in the scarf design itself. So that's kind of what brings me joy. It's when I'm able to tell the story, I'm able to see the reaction of people when they see it. They see the beauty. You can wear it, you can frame it. There's so many versatile things you can do. So, big question, how long does this take, right? From concept to creation? We usually estimate about 6 months because we want to do it right. We don't want to throw something together just because we need to make a deadline. So we usually literally start at the initial process of meeting with our clients, hearing their stories, understanding it, and then we start the sketch process. We probably go through 3 or 4 reiterations of the design over time and expanding upon it. So just as you see, this didn't include everything. It had the main concept, but it definitely didn't have all of the particular details. We didn't have the colors right yet. We hadn't really picked out all the tiny, teeny aspects. And so once we were able to figure out exactly how all of that occurred, it goes from that creation, that concept, all the way to the creation standpoint. I would guess about 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks. And then there's also the time frame in order to get the scarf itself printed and digitally printed. And so we print our scarves internationally. We've printed in England, we have printed our scarves in Italy, and we have printed scarves in China. And depending on the type of scarf, the silk, the quality, the look that we want for that particular design, we'll select what country. And of course with the pandemic, if somebody is shut down, clearly we have to go to another city that's not shut down or another manufacturer. So we've had to pivot a little bit, even when we're doing our designs, to make sure that we're able to get our orders in timely. Another example of a custom designed scarf is this one. So this was done for the March of Dimes Best Dressed event. And that one probably took a couple of weeks for me to get in my head. This one came into my head probably a week and a half after we had the announcement event for this particular occasion. And it features all of the women being honored by the organization. And these are the images from the announcement party. And this was my version of what a flower would be. And so once I create this concept, clearly you can see by the drawing on here, I am not the best artist in the world. I have a big vision, but to fine tune it for the design that we really want and to perfect it to something that's amazing, we clearly work with different artists. So we work with graphic artists, we work with sketch artists, we work with mixed media artists, we work with all different types of artists, and they are all across the country for every single one of our designs. So for this particular design, the artist was in the graphic artist. He's both a graphic artist and a sketch artist. He was in the Philippines. The artist that we worked on for this one, she's actually in Houston, Texas. And most recently we worked on a design, and that particular artist was in Russia. And how do I find them? I look at Google University. So it's not magic, it is just research. I go online, I look on social media, I look at hashtags. So once I have an idea of what I'm looking for or what I like or something about the organization that's really significant, that's when I usually start to look for artists in that space, and then I start reaching out to them, and then we collaborate and work together to bring that particular design into reality. A great example of that is going to be our most recent release. This one was done for an organization called Shelter for Cancer Families. And so for this particular work, what I love about this organization is that everything they do is from the heart, and the shelter that they provide for the families that benefit from this organization are just given something that you can't get anywhere else. It's just something so unique, and it really helps them through the process, because cancer doesn't just affect one person, it affects everybody in that family, and they are able to provide housing for those families free of charge. It's assuming as long as they have the capacity and the space for them. And that's what they do in the city of Houston. And so part of my hashtags when I was searching for just ideas for our vision board when we were creating design was sunflowers, hashtag sunflowers, watercolor, because I personally knew that the watercolor effect would be really beautiful, and I just felt like it would tell the story the best way. And so I mixed my hashtags with that, and also architectural watercolor sketch designs. And the key was finding somebody that could do both people, floral, and architectural sketch and watercolor designs. And through my research, I found the perfect artist, and she just happens to live in Russia. And there was just one particular artist that stood out in the floral, and I said, well, what do you think about these flowers? Do you like the way they look? Do you like the way they've drawn? And everybody loved it. And I said, well, I don't know if I can find this particular artist or not, but I will try. And so I did some research, I did further research, further digging, because the site that I found this particular artist on wasn't her Instagram page. It was somebody else who had screenshot her picture. So I had to keep digging and digging and digging until I finally found Yolkina. And so she is the one who did the original artistic work of these particular flowers that I found. And I reached out to her directly, and I was able to collaborate with her and create this beautiful design that clearly tells the story of the organization and can make such a wonderful impact and raise funds for the nonprofit. So after we go through the process of creating the scarf, designing the scarf, we send it off, we bring it back. All of our scarves are limited edition. We only do a specific number of them. For our customs, we start at least 100, and we can do as many more as you would like, but it's in the hundreds. So it's 100, 200, 300, 400 as our minimum. And each one comes with a certificate of authenticity. It's a limited edition, it's numbered, and our boxing, of course, is as such. And you would there's sliding boxes, so I love that. It's a little bit different. They slide open, and they come with our certificates, which look like this. It's just an example of one. And these come with each one of our scarf designs, and we have just really enjoyed. For me, this is really the part of RoKi Design that I love the most and I'm most passionate about, because I love to give back in multiple ways and be able to create something that really is impactful and is fun and is wearable and for everyone to enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed learning more about our custom scarf process. And if you're interested in creating a custom scarf, please feel free to contact us. You can email us at info@rokidesign.com or visit us online at www.rokidesign.com. Thanks.